Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And at the outset of my time, I just want to, again, do a quick refresher for my colleagues and some of the people listening to this hearing about the history of the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, as well as the Income-Driven Repayment Program, which are punching bags this morning by my colleagues on the other side. Those measures were passed as a result of the College Cost Reduction Act in 2007 by a bipartisan majority of 292 votes in the U.S. House of Representatives, was signed into law by a Republican president, George W. Bush. And in the case of PSLF, as Mr. Kadri said, it was a bipartisan agreement that we should reward people who put community above their own personal interest. And unfortunately, when we fast forward to 2017, when the first cohort of people who had literally changed their life trajectory because of that incentive, ran into a department run by Secretary DeVos, who did almost everything possible to really obstruct people's discharge of those loans. And that's not me saying that. That's the Government Accountability Office. I have a report, Mr. Chairman, from 2018, which recorded the fact that out of the 890,000 borrowers who took the initial step for discharge, a whopping 55 borrowers had their loans discharged. Again, and the report just pins the responsibility on the department under her leadership. A second report actually focuses on military service members who also qualify for PSLF. Same thing, a 94% denial rate for discharge for people who wear the uniform of this country. Finally, in 2019, there was a lawsuit filed to force the department to change, and the Politico story, the title of it is DeVos Sued Over Student Loan Forgiveness Program That Denies 99% of Applicants. Mr. Chairman, I would ask that those GAO reports in the Politico article be admitted to the record.
No objection.
So when these two gentlemen were sworn into office, ably assisted by our former colleague, former Representative Gwen Graham, again, you were basically left with a program that was almost in a shambles in terms of trying to restore the promise that was initially made in 2007, and I know that from constituents who were running into that stone wall. And again, I think we look at, again, the pace of discharge that's picked up since you guys, along with Secretary Cardona, have really tried to fix the plumbing of this program. Obviously, we're in the hundreds of thousands of people. I would like to focus particularly on one group, which is, again, people, the military service members, because, again, the prior administration basically treated service members who were serving overseas eligible for deferment in terms of their monthly payments as non-qualifying months for discharge under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. And again, to both of you, thank you for recognizing what I think every American believes is that those should be qualifying months for discharge. And again, if you could talk for a second about the system that you put into place to help those families.
Well, I appreciate the example. As you say, a borrower on a military deferment could be serving in active duty overseas and not have those months count toward public service loan forgiveness. So I'm very proud that the administration has taken the number of approvals from a very, very small number to more than 600,000 today. Recognize we have more to do to help public servants who are making payments on their loans, who are serving the public for 10 years or longer, to get the benefits that they've earned, and that includes new partnerships with the Department of Defense.
Correct. Again, I have 9,000 sailors in my district who go on at least 6-month deployments on submarines. It is very disruptive to their families, and again, this is a huge boost in terms of their situation. Interest recapitalization, again, you've reformed that. In 20 seconds, can you describe what that means in terms of stopping the growth of debt?
Yeah, so one of the big problems we hear is that borrowers see their loans get bigger and bigger and bigger as the years go by, even as they're making payments. And one big part of the problem is interest capitalization, or moments in which borrowers have to start paying interest on interest and their loans increase exponentially. So we have taken a look at what those requirements are, and where we didn't feel it was necessary to impose that on borrowers, we have eliminated that interest capitalization. That will save borrowers substantial amounts in the coming years.
Thank you. I yield back.